personally watching Jordan Sparks on American Idol and just thinking to myself, this girl has a great, light, lyric soprano voice, basically. And yes, you could notice that she was way chubbier than we know the music industry, especially back at that time in the 2000s, like their artists to be as skinny, as fit, and as sexually appealing as possible. Okay? And Jordan Sparks is not that image, right? The same with Jennifer Hudson. But obviously later on, she was starting to get it together as far as well, coming out on the weight. But when it comes to walking in, she came in, she did audition, you know. Hey, have you heard Jordan Sparks' latest album? Yeah, she's still making music. It popped up on my Spotify a couple days ago, and it was an album of her that she recently made, which actually dropped in 2024, and it was excellent. Okay, I've been a Jordan Park stan since I was when she first came out. When she first popped the box, because I was watching all the American Idol seasons up, I believe, until her season, and then I kind of fell off of American Idol after I kind of noticed what American Idol really was. But as a show for singers, not very good. First of all, a lot of trickery, but she won it, and I was working at Walmart and got the album after work, and I put it in, and I was floored from top to bottom, right? So that's when I knew I was actually going to be a Jordan Sparks fan, from that first album at 22. Yet, second album, I don't know. And after that, just almost nothing. So, we're going to explore what really happens on my channel today, because we need answers, because she was just too good. She's too good. Love Jordan Sparks. Yeah. This is the Music Judge and Jury, aka Queen Millennial. And today, we're exploring, does Jordan Sparks even still make music? What happened to her in this evil, evil music industry? Well, we got the answers, and it's time for us to go ahead and explore. But before we get to the meat and potatoes, of course, as usual, a word. People can be very cruel. People can be very violent. People can be very miserable inside, and they reflect that outward. It's time for you to learn how to guard and protect your energy. It's time for you to not take on every person's bullshit. If there's a chance to get away from the aura and the people, move away swiftly. They mean you no good. Even if they're just having a bad day. And if you offer kind words, but those words haven't done anything for them, well, you have to move away from that energy somehow. I know it's trickier when you're at work or when you're living with other people, but you gotta make it happen. It's a must. stop the paranoia. I mean, always have a little paranoia in the back pocket, right? But you have to know who you are and prioritize yourself first before anybody to gain a peace of mind when you are closed inside of a space where it's just you. Finally, get your thoughts together. What do you need to focus on? What do you need to get done for the day? How's your mental health doing right now? Okay, things like that. How's your kids? If you got kids, how's your spouse? If you got a spouse, worrying on the things you need to worry about, because we're just living in a very toxic society at this point, particularly in countries like the divided states of America. Okay, it's that girl or it's not that girl. Now, I am Worklina, the workhorse, and on this show we talk about popular music and popular artists from today, yesterday, and beyond. Now, today, of course, we're talking about our girl, Jordin Sparks, and is she even still making music today? Okay. In the prelude, I just told you that she dropped a new album. But where has she been in between all that time? What has been going on in her career? Why is it in spaces where she should have been dominant throughout the years, but she has not been? Who in this evil music industry is holding her back? Is it other people in the industry, or is it herself? Well, we're about to find out. So get your popcorn, get your candy, chips, drinks, whatever you need to get comfortable, because this is It's That Girl or It's Not That Girl. Excuse me. It's That Girl or It's Not That Girl. Take it away. This is It's That Girl or It's Not That Girl. Now, I'm Peyton 3.0, the artist, musician, entertainer, not the content creator, not the YouTuber, and not the influencer. Now, those are great platforms and tools to build that brand, business, name, but most importantly, the community. And hopefully you, yes, I'm talking to you, will join this community today by hitting that like button and sharing with people that you know that do like artists, commentary, reaction, and reviews, okay? But to truly become a part of this community here, you actually have to do a few things. What are those few things? Well, first of all, you actually have to engage with this video. Engaging with the video does not mean just watching it. YouTube does not consider that engagement. You have to actually like, subscribe, comment, loves comments, loves conversations, and those comment sections, folks. So let's get it started. And of course, notification bell for more. All right, now let's get into this. Now, I remember personally watching Jordin Sparks on American Idol and just thinking to myself, this girl has a great, light, lyric soprano voice, basically. And yes, you could notice that she was way chubbier than we know the music industry, especially back at that time in the 2000s. Like their artists to be as skinny, as fit, and as sexually appealing as possible. Okay, And Jordan Sparks is not that image, right? The same with Jennifer Hudson. But obviously later on, she was starting to get it together as far as well, coming out on the weight. But when it comes to walking in, she came in, she did audition. You know, they all weren't completely convinced first, but she got through to Hollywood and she went through all the way through to win it. You know, I had my couple favorites. It wasn't really just Jordan. I had a couple people on there and with stronger voices too than Jordan. But Jordan came through and she was always consistent, you know, and she was the youngest contestant, I think, on there at the moment. Come to find out, the rounds was going on. She was surviving, knocking out all the people just to actually win the show. And here's the thing with the winners of the show, for y'all who never really paid attention to American Idol before. By the way, I have auditioned for American Idol twice. Do you remember what seasons? Or can you guess what seasons? Anybody? Hopefully the answer is no. Okay? No. No. I was very young and completely unexperienced on how to use my instrument. Okay? And I will not mention what seasons those were. If you want to find out, you got to find it yourself. Anyway. So, Jordan Sparks won. Now, I've seen in the previous seasons that the winner doesn't necessarily end up having a career all the time, right? With the exception of Kelly Clarkson, Carrie Underwood, Fantasia, right? Which her career should have been as red hot as those three people I just mentioned by now. She should have been that girl. But her growth was stunted. Okay? We're gonna get to that in a moment. So Jordan finally, not too long after, finally drops her first single, Tattoo. Love that song. Love that song. That was the single to get me into her. The very first single to get me into Jordan Sparks. For real. Besides just the show. And so she also dropped No Air with Chris Brown. Love that as well. An alternative version of Tattoo came out as well. So I was ready for the album, right? I was like, okay. I was ready for it. The album dropped. I was working at Wally Mart back in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, my hometown. Right after work, I bought that muggy. Put that on my CD player, because back then, at the time, we had CD players, CD Walkman players that were portable, right? So you pop the CD in, and I got my entire life from that album, from top to bottom. From top to bottom. And as another budding wannabe artist that basically engulfed myself, you know, in the artist, the recording industry, in the music of it all. I was floored by this first album. Okay? With such cuts like Shy Boy, Freeze, the singles, of course, just the whole darn thing. Monday, I mean, the album was packed, honey. The album was packed. The self-titled album was packed. Oh yes. Oh yes. And so I was wearing that CD out. Okay, whenever I get a good CD, when it was a thing back then, I would wear it out. so I could barely play it no more. Okay, you'd be surprised that even though Gen Z and even millennials are clamoring for the physical era to come back. I mean, it's here. People release their CDs, but do people actually have CD players like that? You know, it's more of a novelty thing to have it touch something to hold it, but people don't play those CDs. A lot of people don't even. A lot of people don't even play their vinyls. Okay, even though there are vinyl players out there here and there, there's a store for you to go ahead and purchase. It's more of a memorabilia, a collector's item. Okay, but so it was. She came out the box swinging one step at a time. We can't forget One Step at a Time, my song. And it's still a song today that reminds me you're not really in control. When your time comes, it comes. One step at a time, there's no need to rush. Okay, it's going to happen. Now, when you want it to happen, when the universe wants it to happen, or whoever you believe in, I guess, okay? Life is just like that. So, you're not going to get everything young and supple. But if you keep swinging at it, eventually later on in life, you just may get it. But still, no guarantees, because maybe, and we all have to swallow this whole with a nice glass of ginger ale, that you may not ever get it, or that you were never supposed to get it in the first place. And I know that hurts like a beach. But it's reality that most of us have to face on a daily basis. Never knowing that if what we're doing is going to equal up to anything. Never knowing if continuing to push past the ages where people will think that you're ludicrous for still going after your pipe dreams or whatever, is ever going to work out. You're getting older and older and bolder. But rejection, failure, rejection, failure, rejection keeps following you again and again. The years are still accumulating. You still have this hope. You still say, okay, I haven't tried everything yet. Let me try this over here to get into the door this way. Okay, that hasn't failed again. Let me try this. You don't know if it's ever going to work out. And that's the honest to God, brutal truth of life, right? You eventually, hopefully, about later years, if you're still pursuing your dreams, you stop believing the fairy tale version of what you've been told by adults at that time, and you learn the reality of what it really is, but you're still deciding to go after them regardless, right? Hopefully you're not still operating from a place of complete naivete and fairy tales and stars in your eyes. That is a recipe for absolute disaster. And a ticket straight eventually to the insane asylum, jacket and all. Anyway, Jordin is swinging. She's got these singles out. The album is doing well on the charts. She's the it girl. But in my opinion, she was that girl at that moment. Or so I thought. Then, a couple years, 2 years later, she drops another album, Battlefield. And I personally love that album. as well. So from her first album dropping in 2007 to 2009 for the second album, Jordan was just hitting it. She was doing her thing. It seemed like she was going to be that girl. She was getting her movie deals. Whitney Houston Sparkle. She was doing her thing, you know. She was getting the Kelly Clarkson treatment, right? She was getting the Fantasia treatment. She was getting the Carrie Underwood treatment as a winner, right? Well, so we thought. And here's the thing. I'm going to play both those albums back to back to back to back. And this is in a time where I was still living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, born and raised. And I was working at a place that's like Denny's. And this is where I first met like my raver friends. Like, I've never been to a rave. I was just getting into electronic dance music with Lady Gaga, and I was loving what she was providing. And I immersed myself into that world. And she also had a particular song on the album, Miss Jordan Sparks, Battlefield, the second album, called SOS, which really was a cover or a remake of a popular song from the 80s. And it was completely electrode, right? And I was I love that song. I love that video, getting my life with that. SOS, I'm calling all the birds. Okay. Anyway, I was living. Love Battlefield. Love SOS. Love that entire album. Okay. That entire album. And so Jordan Sparks was winning. Okay, her name was in everybody's mouths, particularly the press, the media. She was doing the thing. She was a serious artist. Because you know, when it comes to those kind of shows, American Idol and all that other stuff, they didn't want to take you seriously back then. Just because you came from a show like that. Although I never understood that, because it was a show specifically created for talent. Even though it turned out to be tomfoolery in the end, still, it turned out to talent that's still around today. Like Miss Kelly Clark's, Jennifer Hudson, right? Anyway, Fantasia's still doing the thing. Carrie Underwood's still doing the thing with the residency literally right here in Vegas. Okay, all came from American Idol. Now we can't say the same for The Voice. We know what's going on over there in that neck of the woods, honey. We do not know what's going on over there in that neck of the woods, but they're not our business. We're talking about Miss Jordan Sparks and American Idol. So anyway, fast forward, and I'm still jonesing and gassing off of those first two albums. I will still go back to the first two albums even till this day. But fast forward, the years are going by. 1, 2, okay. I'm expecting, fans are expecting her to be back in the next 2 years. We don't get anything besides that movie. Whitney Houston unfortunately loses her life before the movie even comes out. 2012. At this time, I had moved to Los Angeles. Okay, with $700, a suitcase, and a dream to become a star. Okay? We all know how that This is another halftime show with your truly Peyton 3.0, the brightest MC in the world. Okay, here we go. And what your name is, you know what the blame is. Rolling this rat race, your face is a disgrace. I'm done with these humans, they constantly ruin. The work is done all day, the dues are never paid. My body's left insane, my mind is left in pain. My energy is drained, like I did crack cocaine. The weed I will not smoke, this country is a joke. When the world is done, when the work is done, I jump right up and run. And when I do get home, I get right in the zone. I close my effing door. The city is no more. I turn on my lights. In my bed excite. Put on a good song. Now nothing can go wrong. And now, a song.
I know you're out there looking for a stress reliever.
You're looking for a stress reliever out there.
Drugs, the alcohol,
Here we
the
go.
food. But let me tell you what you need to do. Here we go.
Blood pressure, you worked all day like the messenger. Work so hard that the bills are high. All you do is cry me a freaking try. Heart that clock every freaking day. Still on your money, you got to pay. Fuck that shit, man, you need relief, but you got this grief for the fucking cheap. Some take care of the freaking kids. Munching your plate for your freaking lid. Stress too much, always in a rush. You need and brushing, you're feeling flush. What is it that you're gonna do? Gonna have some relief in you. Time to get out with the music plays every freaking day. All I gotta say is jump, turn that music loud. I wanna see your hands in the crowd. You gotta get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up. Lose your mind to the beat. Shake it up, keep moving them feet. You gotta get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up. Get the stress.
And that is all I will be giving you, okay? If you want to hear that song in its entirety, then comment in the comment section. You ready? Let me hear that song. And I most certainly will, absolutely for free. Okay? I know that I've been hurt before, but never have I been quite this sore. Your words cut deeper than a knife. Now I need someone to bring me back to life. Got a feeling that I'm going under, but I know making out alive. If I quit calling you my lover, move on. You got me shaking to my knees, falling to my knees, and now that I'm without your kisses, I'll be needing stitches, tripping on myself, aching, begging you to come help. You know that I'm without your kisses, I'll be needing stitches. Turned out. Fast forward. The years are still going by. 2013, 2014. And Jordin Sparks' name is nowhere to be mentioned. Come to find out, they have been talking from her own lips, though. They have been talking in the background. And let me explain something to y'all. I already knew by this time in life how the industry was to his artists, how cutthroat it was. And you could be hot today, and it could seem like from the outside that they had hits. But from Jordin Sparks Miles, they claimed they didn't know what to do with her, which I found preposterous. I'm like, What do you mean you don't know what to do with her, marketing wise? You should know exactly what to do with her, or actually I'm pretty sure Jordin Sparks had her own ideas to some degree, right? But, and often what will happen is that they'll promise these singers are no longer putting the budgets in to the promise these singers on label they no longer really have any interest in for whatever reason. That, okay, all right, you know what, we'll get you your album out there, we'll get you another album. And so they might get a single, you'll see a single floating out there. Oh, okay, hey, my girl's back, you know, whatever. Oh, my guy's back. And then you don't hear nothing after that. It goes radio silent again from that artist. And it's not their fault because they're dealing with a label that no longer believes in them. They have no vision for them. There's all these new people coming into the field, honey. And they're like, we're going to focus on this person over here because we only have so much budget and we don't want to believe this person. They don't even tell you that to your face. They'll just decide that to themselves quietly. Okay? And then eventually start giving you the runaround until you start suspecting that something's up. Because years of people with these artists' lives could just go by. Could just be going by. And they're being shelved. Their dreams on hold. And they're traumatized, right? Because they did all this sacrifice and they had all these hits. They're a star. And again, Jordin's situation was peculiar because it's not like there was any indication to the label of her being tossed to the side. We didn't even get to see a single from the next album. That would warrant numbers for them to say, okay, Toots, next, right? And they never tell the general public what's going on either. Your favorite artists, your faves, just, especially around that time, there was no internet, there was none of that for them to go and complain. They just disappear. And because they were churning out so many other artists to replace, you didn't always have time to think about it because the new hot thing was always being shoved in your face, right? And so Jordin was no different from that meal. Although, like, she still should have been on the trajectory of a Kelly Clarkson. She still should have been on the trajectory of a Jennifer Hudson. Well, more so Fantasia. You get what I'm saying. Carrie Underwood. So, fast forward, 2015 comes out, and she drops a single. And I'm like, oh my goodness, okay, Jordin Sparks, you know, because it's been since 2009. You know, she had a little movie, whatever, 2012, but it's been, how many years is that? It's been like 4 to 5 years with no music, right? And so she comes out with that. I said, it's a cute little bop, okay? Favorite. It's a song called, the first single is called Double Tap, right? It was cute for that time, right? It was definitely trendy. And eventually she does drop the album. Okay, she does drop it. And I'm like, okay, we got another album from Jordin. You know, no, at first I listened to it and I was into it. Not the same way I was into the first two that I continuously played over the years anyway. And then I gave it a second and third listen and I fell in love with that album. I did. And so I was ready for Jordin Sparks to continue her momentum, right? Because there was such a long pause. Meanwhile, I had no real idea of what was going on behind the scenes of her career at this time. And it seemed like no matter where Jordin Sparks went, she'd be given the runaround as if nobody knew what to do with her. But this is a grown woman at this time. I'm pretty sure she knew what to do with herself and what kind of artist she wanted to be, right? But unfortunately, the shady thing would be eventually someone would use her to be a writer for other upcoming hot artists like Miss Ariana Grande, okay, and more. But they would always shelf whatever album she might have had coming out after that, because after 2015 things were really shaky for Jordin, and you would see her in the later 2010s put out a single, right? But then you'd be excited again. Okay, here she come, and then nothing, silent, and then sporadically again another single. I'm excited, Jordin Sparks, and then nothing. It happens again, and so my mind is going, and I'm sure that everybody else's mind is going, what the heck is going on? Like, why does she keep putting out this single, but there's nothing, there's no album, there's no nothing. It wasn't even an EP. So it kept happening. And then fast forward to the 2020s, where she was able to break away from her labels because she knew she was tired of playing the bull crap game, and her career was just being basically shattered, stomped all over. She basically went independent, and she released a couple of EPs, a Christmas album. I was there for Hennessy, okay, and the other EPs, which were very good, you know. So, and we're only right now at the time of the recording in 2025. So she was working her cheeks off independently, doing her thing, because when you're independent, can't nobody control your releases or what you do. It's all up to you. So she was hungry. She was going to get her name back to where she could get it. She already had her built-in audience from being on a major label, and she was going to basically redeem herself as like a serious artist, and get back her good graces of her fan base. And so she was able to do that. But the thing is that now that she was independent, she was no longer really able to get back to those heights she was able to get to in the GP, anyway, the public eye, when she was with the machine, right? And unfortunately, that is a trade-off that you have to make when it comes to independent versus major label. But again, if this major label's not doing nothing for you, what are you going to do? We want to make like Maya, you're going to make like Sierra, and you're going to go ahead and go independent, right? Right. So every now and then, if the industry finds that you're doing your thing, they see you, this is old, whatever. Like these days, people have being thrown bones. Like recently, you see Sierra every now and then getting to pop up on major label artists' songs. She every now and then gets a spot on major label stages, you know, even though she's independent. Sitting with Maya gets invited to these radio shows and things and whatnot, because Maya's already built a reputation and a name for herself, where those radio stations and people and things know her, and she has these credible hits under her belt, you know. But I honestly feel like Jordin Sparks isn't getting that same treatment. right? But all that to say is that Jordin Sparks is now independent, and she has finally released what should be, in my opinion, her 10th album, but she released her 4th official full-length album. Okay, I believe it's called No Filter, where she was airing it all out. No Filter, right? Spotify. It's gonna let me know what the T. It's gonna let me know what the T is. Oh crap! You know what the first thing I see when I open my Spotify up? The first thing I see when I open my Spotify up, Miss JoJo Siwa, Betty Davis Eyes. If you've been on like the shorts or anything like that, you've seen JoJo promote the song, and people were eating it up as they were eating her up, okay, and making memes of it in wigs. So I gotta get that listen, but right now I can't be distracted by that. We're here for Jordin Sparks. Betty Davis out. Okay, it's not called No Filter, it's called No Restrictions. Okay. Let me make sure I got these albums not correct. What is this? It's not an album. That's an EP. That's a Christmas album. I don't really count Christmas albums as official albums in discography. All right. Yeah, so that's the 4th album. It's called No Restriction, and it dropped. No Restrictions. I talk so fast. And it dropped in September 13, 2024. And folks, this album is everything. See, Jordin Sparks doesn't really make bad music, I realize. And so that's why I've been real hot on her every time that she would drop a project on a rare occasion. Not her fault, but now that she's independent, she can go full swing. Yes, she has a family now. You know, the prominent years of her life are over. She has a family, she has her man, whatever, to also focus on, but she's independent and she's able to drop these projects without any real excuses or holdbacks by her own self, because life do be life and sometimes, and you gotta take care of that. But it's even harder when a label is sending in your way that was supposed to have your back, but you learned that the music industry is not what you thought it was, and that it truly purely is a beast. So with that being said, hold on, it purely truly is a beast. Anyway, this has been Peyton 3.0, the artist, musician, entertainer, not, why am I blanking? Whoop. Anyway, not the YouTuber, not the influencer, and not the content creator. If you got your entire life today and your mind was opened up about where Jordin Sparks is today, and that she still does make music, which I hope you will, go listen to her latest album, No Restrictions, which she's basically saying goodbye labels, no restrictions, I'm here, I'm back for good, or as long as I feel like I'm back, okay? No restrictions, the chains are gone. Now this is my career for real, my time, this is my now. I know, man. Anyway, go ahead and hit that like button and share people that you know that like artist commentary reaction, and reviews. And of course, to become a part of the Paytonators community, you gotta do a few things. First of all, you actually have to engage the video. Ooh, I know that's cosmic for you, right? You actually have to engage with the video. That means like, I mean subscribe, comment, because YouTube loves a great comment section. And these are things that help the algorithm push the videos further, so we can really build a better community and larger community, okay? And of course, notification bell, okay? Anyway, I got to go, folks. I'm a busy queen, lots to do. I want to hear from you. Yes, you in the comment section. What did you think happened to Jordan? Did you miss her? Did you miss her when she was away? Did you have these questions on your mind? And why do you love Jordin Sparks so much? What's your favorite song from her? See, there's a couple questions that we could feed off of in the comment section to have genuine conversation about. So let's go ahead and get that kick started off. Bye now. Yeah. Hold on. You're still here? How may I help you? The show's over. Did we forget something? Oh, okay. You still want to hang out? I don't really have the time. I'm a busy queen. But you know what? I got a solution for us. I want to take you to my next project. There's a video that's going to pop up on the screen at any moment. Going to click that video, and I'll see you over there. Bye-bye.